Crack.
Monkey breaky.
Back.
For a piece of power.
Rack. In a rusty ham sack.
Once upon a time, a long, long time ago. In fact, it was in the year 1845. A whole set of people were brought from their homeland in India to Trinidad. 144,000, 85% of them was Hindu. And they come with their religion, with their culture, with their beliefs, for all of we to share. Now, just like all foundation peoples, they believe in the power of nature, of the rivers, the seas, the forests. And if it's one thing with Hindu people, they have a festival for every day of the year.
Bilkul thik.
And so they bring the festivals to Trinidad and Tobago. And these festivals grow and grow and become part of our landscape. And to tell you about the great river festival that we have, the Ganga festival, and how it began, is Pandit Raviji, storyteller too, yes, and head of the Hindu Prachar Kendra. So Raviji going to tell you the story about how Ganga come Trinidad and how we set up a great festival to honor Ganga Mai here in Trinidad.
Jai Sri Ram. जय गंगा माई. अरे भाई ये पड़ोसन कथा सुनाई तो हम गंगा माई की कथा सुनाएंगे. You know, in ancient Bharat, the name Bharat it was in India. India is just the other day. The ancient Bharat. For someone to be an emperor, they had to protect their lands, but they never protected by going out and fight as a first option. They would do an ashwamedha yajna. Ashwamedha means, well, they translate yajna as sacrifice, but it's not necessarily killing anything, not blood. But it is an endeavor that took a lot of time, a lot of toil, a lot of contemplation, and that was the sacrifice, because it was sacrifice of the self. Jai Ganga Mai. So they would let go a horse, and that horse would be decorated in a certain way that the people of that Sanskriti, of that culture, would understand that that horse was a yajna ashwa, and that's why they call it Ashwamedha. So, if anybody want to challenge the emperor, all they have to do is to stop the horse. When the horse doesn't return, it is a signal for the emperor to go out and defend his boundaries. So therefore, at some time, after an idea of about 10, 15 years, they would have this type of re-election, as it were, without war. So the horse was sent out with due yajna, the puja, everything, dressed up, and as it went off, They waited in the palace, in the homeland, and waited for the horse to return. So the horse now take long, really long. It took years. And then the King Sagar, who had sent the horse, said, well, somebody is challenging here. Why the horse hasn't returned? So he called his sons, who were the generals, many of them, and a large army, and sent out the army to search for the horse and see if anybody has challenging the great King Sagar. Finally, they walk and travel, and they move from mountains and cross lots of rivers and went. And they searched all over. Then they couldn't find the horse. So they made a decision to go to Patal Loka. Patal Lok was the other side of Bharat. Bharat was in the east and in the west, like the West Indies. They decided to go there, where nobody had gone before. So they went and they went and they went and they traveled and finally they saw this horse, all dressed up in the Ashwamedha costume. And we saw right by the horse, right behind an ashram, with a Yogi Baba in meditation. So they call out to the Yogi Baba, they challenge the Yogi Baba. But the Yogi Baba didn't respond. The Yogi Baba was Kapil Muni, the great Kapil Muni, who was a pravakta of the Sankhya Darshana, Sankhya philosophy. And he was in deep meditation for years. He didn't know that the horse was there, but the horse was behind Kapil Muni ashram. So then they started to behave very rudely and make noise and challenge him. Oh, you old sick man, you're scared? Come and face us. You stole our horse, you're challenging us. And then they started to make noise. Kapil Muni ke dhyan bhang ho gaya. His meditation, deep meditation, was broken. And as he opened his eyes, from his eyes, a sort of fire came out. Burn up, everybody! All of them were burned up. And they lay right in front of him with heaps of ashes. But the horse still couldn't return. And Kapil Muni remained in his ashram. Down by Sagar, in the emperor, he was worried. The horse isn't returning. The military army is not returning. What is happening? So he had a grandson called Bhagirathi. Bhagirathi put up his hand and said one day in the court, I will go and look for my father and my uncles and the army and find them out, and I will come back with them. So he got permission. He was a young boy, but he got permission to go. And he walked and he walked and he walked and he searched all over the world and couldn't find. He too decided to go now, finally, in Patal Lok, which Bhagirathi come from in the east with Sagar kingdom, and he now had to go deep on the other side, which is the west, like in the West Indies. So finally he came to West Indies, and he saw there by the ashram a Yogi Baba, and in front of him heaps of ashes. And he sensed what had happened. But he did not disturb the yogi. He did not disturb Kapil Muni. What he did, he waited patiently with his hands put together, his head bowed in reverence, and he stood there waiting patiently. So after some time, Yogi Baba smiled as if he knew that this Bhagirathi was waiting. Indeed he knew, but he was testing him. He didn't make any rukshan, like how we Trinidadians and make our ruction quick, quick, quick. He had patience and he waited. So the Yogi Baba smiled and said, Tathastu, whatever your wish is, it shall be fulfilled. So Bhagirathi said, Baba, I have been looking for my father and all my uncles and the army that came off because we are not finding our horse coming back, the Ashrameda Yagya horse, and we can't find them. So we do not know what to do. Can you tell us in your meditation if they pass this way or not? So Kapil Muni says, Beta, look on the ground here. There lies your family, your father, your uncles, and everybody burned to ashes. And the reason for that was I was in meditation, I was disturbed, my eyes opened up suddenly, and the fire burned them, and they all burned. So here they are lying. Baba, my heart bleeds, and my grandfather there is waiting for us, King Sagar. How can I go and tell him that they are destroyed? Please bring them back to life. So the Yogi Baba closed his eyes for a moment and he meditated. And then he opened his eyes and said, there's only one way. बस एक ही उपाय है और कुछ नहीं. You have to go and bring Ganga. If Ganga Mai comes here with her water, all these dead people would rise up again. You would revive your ancestors, bring them back to life. What you just heard there was the Nagara beating at Bhagirathi's heart, because he heard that news that if he bring Ganga Mai, all will arise, all of them will come to life, all of them will come to life. Ganga Mata ki. So he said, please, with your Ashirvad, I will take leave. I will go and propitiate Ganga Mai. So he went to the Himalayas and he stood up on one foot for 1,108 years and 9 minutes. And standing up there, all he was saying, Ganga, Ganga, Ganga. Ganga Mai heard. She knew what is happening. Mother. माँ के हाथ, माँ के दिल में दुख जल्दी हो जाता है. और कारुण्य भाव इतना ही है. The power of the mother feeling for others is such a strong emotion, and every woman can come a mother at any moment for any child. That is what happened, and Bhagirathi was fortunate. So what she did, she said, I will come to earth, I will fulfill whatever you want. But there's one problem. If I descend on the earth, the whole earth will be smashed into smithereens. It will break up into bits. So what you have to do now, take a tamasha. Bhagirathi so long did tapasya. Now, Ganga Mai saying, you have to start tapasya all over. Stand on one foot and propitiate Bhagwan Shiva with the Damaru. एकदम से भगीरथी एक पांव पर खड़ा हो गया. He stood up on one foot. And again, for 1,108 and 11 minutes now, he stood on one foot and propitiated Bhagwan Shiva. Bhagwan Shiva was in Kailash, not too far away. Bhagwan Shiva was so moved that in his heart and his damru started to do Nagara. क्या बात है? So, Bhagwan Shiva suddenly appeared before Bhagirathi. Bhagirathi, still on one foot, he bowed to Bhagwan Shiva. Hey Paramatman, daya karo. Please, hey Bhagwan, have mercy on us. Ganga might say I must come to you to take the water on your jata, the locks. He said, your locks are so powerful, it's the only thing can stop the earth from smashing. And then when Ganga comes and we take the water in Patal Lok and the water touches the ashes, all my uncles and everybody who were burnt to smithereens, they will come back alive. Then Bhagirathi said, Bahut Bahut Dhanyabad. Bhagwan said, Pranam. And Ganga immediately fall on Shiva's head. And the locks cushioned the water from the heavens, coming down on earth and protected the earth from smashing. Bhagirathi then took a chariot and he now started to move fast ahead of the Ganga going. So after a long time, Bhagirathi reached back. Where he reached back? As he started coming from the Himalayas, traveling through, this water gushed forward, making oceans in the way. When the water came in this part, there was a tiny isthmus, and the water gushed through, broke the isthmus in two, and one side, like a tooth of an elephant, one country remained, and the other side, like the shape like an elephant, the other side. That is where the water finally gone on the land, went to the ashes, turned the ashes into human again. And they all came up and said, Jai Ganga Mai, Jai Bhagwan Shiva. And everybody started to dance, going. They know Ganga has come to turn the ancestors from ashes to human beings again.
And the story continues in Trinidad and Tobago. And we find out that Rasta was not the first one to wear locks, that the great Lord Shiva had locks.
Jai Mahadev.
The values inside of there, respect for elders, respect for the divine, respect for all the things that are innate here. And this respect is not only in Hindu culture, is in African spirituality as well, African belief system. Because we have a powerful lady, a goddess, representing the river and water. She named Oshun, Mama Oshun. Mama Oshun. Mujiba Mama, make Iba Mama. And she manifests in the river, in the rain, in fertility, and in the nurturance that all mothers have. So we ask her to propitiate for us, Mama Oshun. And we pay homage to the mothers. We ask that in our understanding of the role of mothers and women, that our women and our girls can feel safe in our country. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks to Ganga Mai. We give thanks to water, and we ask that water, which has no enemy, keep us safe from enemies.
Yeah.
We ask that water purifies us, take away sickness, don't let any of this nasty sickness come near us. Let us be pure in our thoughts and bodies.
Yeah.
We give thanks as we tell the story of water. Common to all peoples, and we ask the blessings of water.
Yeah.
Crack,
Crack,
monkey breaky,
back,
for a piece of pama,
rack,
The
in a
story-
rusty ham sack.
the story, and the story,
And
and the wire.
bed.
All right. And we have to talk about the great drummer we have sitting down, who interpreting the story, who represent the country all over the world, and who is one of the royal family of Trinidad drummers. It's not so good to say that word royal family these days, because that's plenty janjat.
Yeah, well, Janjat.
So
Trouble
we
in the
pitch-
kutia.
Trouble in the kutia, boy. Trouble in the kutia. Well, normally, I say that I'm the best storyteller in Trinidad and Tobago. But today I have pressure. So I have to say, with all respect to Ravi Ji, I am one of the best storytellers in Trinidad and Tobago, and you could take that to the bank, Republic Bank.
Right.
Nicely. That was great.